around this thing started. Okay, I want to say welcome to one of the hottest groups in 7K. Wayne joined uh, just a little over a month ago. He's the first person ever to become silver in our company in 30 days. And I think many of y'all saw he was awarded what the company put up, silver in 90 days. And if you make silver in 90 days, you get a 100-ounce silver bar. I mean, you know, when this price stables out with all the margin holders over there, where the paper gets squeezed out of the market, and you actually have a real spot gold and silver price, you probably got about $2,000 in your hand. That's an extra nice bonus, isn't it, guys and gals? Well, here, look, real quick, because I know a lot of that had to do with each and every one of you that's here. Also, because you know, none of us makes money without helping other people make money. And one of the greatest parts I found when I did this business is to create systems, create things that you know the 80%er can do. And if you do things that the 80%er can do, and you can create an extra $500 check a month or every 3 months for them, or even twice a year. I've got some people in my organization that joined me 3.5 years ago, and they may make a $500 check once a year, but they're lifers and they never miss buying that coin. And the coin is the lifeblood of residual income. And this company's positioned to be there and to be there forever with that coin, especially some of the things if you've been able to tune in to what Miles Standish has done, the Vice President of NCG, and what he's, and many of you are going to find this out in Salt Lake, but there's much more coming than what we already have in hand that's going to make the income opportunity even better. And before the company says it, I'm on the board of the advisory board. I do compensation plans in the industry. I've consulted in the industry for many years with people who had binary compensation plans, had problems with them, and helped them solve their problems. The binary plan is the best plan, the best pay plan that's ever existed in the direct selling industry. There's none that pays more than it. And you get an infinite level one, and one that retains earnings, retains volume for you and me in our counters, and has such small requirements to retain that volume, meaning you be active. What is active? You buy that coin every month. You treat it like overhead, treat it like it's your electricity bill and running your business, but it's a product of value. So we're gaining wealth. It's got a proven history. And before we start tonight, I want to give you one tidbit that I know for a fact, and I'm sure I've already mentioned it to a couple of people in the company, so they're going to start, I'm sure, you know, spouting it out to everybody, but I want to give y'all a head start. If you look at the $1.2 million mistake in that little video, that's true, actual facts. If you purchase one of these Silver Eagles, MS-70, one a month at retail value over $100 since 1986, you actually have a collection, and actually the last collection that sold was $1.7 million, not 1.2. But when they did the video, the actual last sell was $1.2 million. Now it's 1.7. We're not changing the video. So if you'd bought one of these suckers just every month, $100 a month, you'd only spent a little less than $38,000. But that's $1.7 million in your hand. So, you know, the price objection is over with this. As being a product company, it's a product. We're not lotions, potions, pills, hair growing stuff, wrinkle go away creams. We're real money, real collectibles. Okay. Y'all can tell I'm passionate about this. I've been in gold and silver for over 30 years. And its reason is I know its security. I've lost more than maybe most people are going to ever earn in their lifetime in a stock market. And I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy, but it's pure gambling. Now, on to the system, the news that I have to share with you. If you're looking at $1.2 million mistake, there was 1 year in which those coins were worth more than any other year. And that year was 1999 because they had a thing coming up called Y2K. Anybody ever remember Y2K? The scare of Y2K? Everything's going to stop. Computers going to turn off. Our whole lives are going to change. Oh, right. Huh. Nothing happened. Okay. But that was the scare. And what did happen in a scare? What do people have? All the gold and silver, it was sold out. The mint could not make it fast enough. As fast as they punched out those coins, they were sold. They were bought up. So they did not have time to set aside production, to inspect it and see which coins were perfect and which ones weren't. Which one's an MS-69? Which one was an MS-62? Which one on the Shelton scale? And look, if you guys want to make $12,500 a week, you're going to have to learn some of these terms. I'm just being straight up forward with you. Okay? And not right now, but you will need to learn it. And it's all right there in your back offices. And you can do it incrementally in time. But we have a huge scare going on right now. And everybody knows you can't buy gold and silver. The mints won't ship it. They've already sold what they got. In other words, they have contracted out, and thank goodness 7K is backed by a multi-billionaire who's already had relationships for decades with 5 major dealers of the 13. So we're not going to have a supply problem. We already got it. Plus, Roger's got his own vaults. But anyway, here's the key. There are going to be very few MS-70 Silver Eagles this year. So these state coins, even though the real value is going to be in getting a collection of 50 coins, we've got one of those monster years that, man, this might be those $20,000 coins each. Now, the last 1999, you can look in the aftermarket, sold for $27,000, not $19,000, $27,000. They aren't sold very often. People don't want to get rid of them. They want to keep them because they know it's going to get more and more valuable with time. So that's a tidbit. And I say this to experienced people who understand, have the skills, have the attitudes, know how to build a business. Now I'm going to share my screen with the thing. I sent out an email, urgent. In one email, I put the entire, what we say, prospecting building system up, that as you get people into the business, and we have something that we can refer to other than just, 1 second, let me get to it, get this control center down here, and go to that email right here. And basically it's like a 1, 2, 3 punch. Okay. And if people will just do this, they will build a business very rapidly. Everybody knows its numbers. Everybody knows it's how many people you contact a day. Everybody knows that whatever you do to somebody else, they've got to be able to do to somebody else. So you can't be explaining 1,000 things to everybody. And you can only either tell them about the facts or looking for people who have the same desire to have time, freedom, and wealth. I mean, I've enjoyed it since 1996 and I love it. And I want more and more people to have it. And everybody that meets me understands that I really feel that from my heart for them. And so, number one, we got a crisis going on, not only in the United States, but it's the entire world. And you're right. Never let a crisis go to waste. We're business builders. Now, we're not scaring people. We're bringing them solutions. And so step one, I put together a little tidbit of cut down the clip from about a 30-something minute presentation, made it into about 4 minutes, but it's pure factual. It's up in Montreal, January 20th, and they talk about the whole global debt situation. Well, the debt situation is why one needs to own gold and silver. And the wealthy people who have assets understand that. You need to diversify, because when currencies are revaluated, they're going to be revaluated on metals, not cryptos, not anything else. They're going to be metals, okay? And that's another subject, but I'll debate that with anybody, anywhere, anytime. And the fact that coronavirus is, everybody's at home, everybody's glued to the TV, everybody's wondering if they're going to get it and die. Well, they also are lacking income, and they need something to replace the income. Right now, 7K is growing at a rapid pace. And why? Because people are reaching out to people and trying to wake them up a little bit, say, get off the couch, get out from under TV, let's do something positive, constructive, let's earn some money. Let's get that plan B going for you. These are the techniques that get it. And so step one, you hit them with a quick video. Make sure you watch these videos. But you can give this to your people, and then they can run through theirs. Step one, step two, step three. I made it so you can copy and paste this into your phones. So they can take this email, if you sent that email to them, because I don't have everybody's email distribution. So y'all going to have to, if you agree with this, then you're going to have to pass it on. And then you're going to have to let them copy and paste it, put it in their phone, in their note section, and then they can press it, punch it out, and just send 5, 10 a day. And then it tells them exactly what to do. And we don't want people answering questions. We want people, when they have a question, we want them to acknowledge that's a great question. And then we want them to provide a resource, a tool, because you and I, we all know that's duplicatable. And see, it's not just you top leaders like here. Yeah, everybody, we know how to do all this stuff. We know how to finesse around these things. We know that. We've got those skills. We've got those attitudes. But you think about those masses out there. That's the key that makes you wealthy. That's the key that helps them, and it helps you too. And it gives them an opportunity. Now, with this company, it's going to give them something bigger and better than ever, because it automatically builds huge teams on them. And if they stay active, they retain that volume. And let me tell you, if it's a year, if it's 2 years, if it's 3, I've got a couple of people, it took them 3 years. But man, when they got one person on that other side, and that person that was partnered up with them, they started making $500, that meant they made $1,000 a week. So they had to step up and become a copper to be able to take advantage of that volume that was coming up. No other company has ever provided that in the industry of network marketing. So this is why it's made for the masses, and that's why we as leaders have to give something, tools in their hands to make it highly duplicatable, something easy that they can copy and paste and do. And that's what I did with this. Now, if you choose as leaders to kind of change up some of my words here in your texts and things, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But the key is keep a system. A system is what works. And a system is something that's duplicatable. So I put it all in one email, and I know there's a couple of grammatical errors in the one I sent out last night to everybody. I'm correcting those right now, and I swear it's the computer that changed my language. I know I typed this. I tell Wayne this all the time. this daggum phone changes my texts all the time. I know how to do FOR, F-O-R, and it changes it to fur every time. I mean, I've got a thing with this computer. Well, anyway, here's what I want to do, the extra information for you leaders, though. This is the key of what I want to do with y'all tonight. Okay, I am going to start texting you as we talk. I'm going to, each one of you, I hope this sent out what I, tell me if, so Wayne, because all of your texts didn't come through, tell me if y'all just got a text. You did, great. Okay, I'm going to see if I can send out a few. What I'm going to do is for leaders like you guys, okay, and we can get, I'll tell you what, that group text, it's hard for me to get that. Let me just give you the training and then I'll text you the texts, okay? That'd probably be the best way for me to do this. And you see the first one, this is a text that you go through. I'm telling people that you went to the first grade with. I'm telling you, expand that list to the list of anybody you ever possibly met in your life. If you met them on a street corner on Broad and 42nd in 1969, and you remember that incident, you put their name on there, okay? And if you got a contact, because the people who do this the most are going to win the most right now. I just went over this training with Richard Wayne Hanson. Richard's a great networker. He's at the top of the computer. And he and I were talking, and we've already signed up 3 people. And we just texted Texas. If people we hadn't even talked to about 7K. Now, this is the neat thing about what I'm telling you. Okay, if you read that first text, I'm going to put their name in it, and I'm going to say, Wayne, what's your thoughts on the coronavirus thing and what's happening with the shutdown of our country? How are you and your family doing? Of course, y'all all know warm reform, so I'm not even going to go there with you guys and gals, okay? So you make something personal, and I truly mean it, because maybe I hadn't met this person. I hadn't seen this person in a long time. Or I say, hey, Wayne, you know, do you still live in Brownsville, Texas? We hadn't seen each other in decades. Hey, what do you think about this coronavirus thing and what's happening with the shutdown of our country? Hey, by the way, how are you and your family? Y'all doing okay? Hey, guess what? You're going to get a text back. You're going to start a conversation, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my conversation that's going on, and then they're going to text me back, oh, yeah, we're fine doing that. I say, that's great. And then I follow up. What do we do? What do we do as leaders? We ask questions. We probe to pique interest. That's how we make millions. That's how I've made millions and millions and millions, teaching people these simple techniques. Then I text back, what's your thought on the $4.3 trillion and the debt situation here and around the world? Now, I think some of you are already getting the kick. I'm going to text these things to you. Then you got to text them to your leaders, people who can handle this and do this. Well, I'm setting them up for these videos right here that I send out on this email. That's what I'm doing. I'm setting them up for this. But in a very informational way that we have something in common. I'm creating commonality with somebody I may not have seen in 20 years. The next thing after that, they pop me back because we're talking about debt, right? We're talking about global debt. Now, this is where I lead up some leaders here, and I do too. Sometimes, depending on what they're, I'll pop them up. Hey, what's your thoughts on gold and silver at this point? Simple question. What's your thoughts on gold and silver at this point? They text me back. Hey, man, I wish I had a ton of it. Or, man, I don't know. It doesn't matter what they text back. I have information that I want to share with them. Next text. No matter what they send me, we're in control of the conversation. Would you like me to shoot you a short video of some inside information about all this debt situation and see if you feel the same way as I do after seeing these facts summarized in a couple of minutes and just on 3 slides? Now, we all know what that is. I cut that big Montreal presentation down to 4 minutes. And it's got the slides of the whole global debt situation, the global banks, the global countries, and it puts there. And he talks about gold and silver and the need for it in that video. And it has nothing to do with 7K. Okay? Now, bingo. Now we're ready to start popping some of these videos to them about the coronavirus and the economic shock and on top of this story, and why 7K. I took that 4-minute video, I attached why 7K behind it. It's a real short presentation. You know, I skipped putting the real 2-minute version behind it because it didn't give enough information for a setup like this. Got to have the why 7K. We got to have the part we cut out the dealers, and that's the reason for it. So it's about 15 minutes long. But people who hang are all we're interested in at this stage, do this sift. Then I either that or I send them the Wealth Strategies video. I send them these tools right here. And then I may set them up with the one, I may intervene and say, okay, this person needs, they're not as positive about this. And so it's kind of like I give the alternative here in the step 3. If a person doesn't seem very positive in step 3, I give an alternate step 3 right here on my website. Where is that alternate step 3? It's in blue normally. I can find it here. There it is. Seems not too responsive or a little bit apprehensive after you've taken them through step 1 and 2. Okay, real quick. That's real quick too, by the way. And so I say, hey, look, Wayne, why don't you just take a quick look at this new video that just came out by this guy, Neil McCoy Ward. He's over in England. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire, made it in real estate. It has nothing to do with gold and silver market or anything. But why don't you just take a look at him and see what he says? Now, this is the greatest third-party validation I've ever seen in my life in 30 years of dealing in the metals market. Neil just comes out point blank and tells where he's shifting all of his assets, many of his assets, into silver mainly, and because of the high return that we expect, because of how silver's been manipulated for so many years, but you just can't hold it down much longer. That's the key. I'll text all these texts to you, but I wanted to get this information to you real quick, real soon. I'm gonna